Despite being one of the smallest countries in Europe, Luxembourg is one of the loveliest and greenest places to travel. Tourists choose Luxembourg for a trip abroad because there are plenty of things that you can do here. Luxembourg, which shares borders with Belgium, France, and Germany, has a diverse range of cultural influences, including a number of widely used languages. The amount of greenery in Luxembourg will first catch your attention. The journey through the bizarre forest of trees is an unusual landscape in a city in Europe. Instead of being overrun by a concrete jungle, the area is dominated by seas of trees. This charming microstate has a lot to offer, including magnificent medieval castles, the old town and fortress of the capital, lush vineyards, and excellent trails for hiking. Luxembourg has a lot to offer to all sorts of travelers, and here's the top 5 best things that you can do while you're here. Number 5. Notre Dame Cathedral. Luxembourg only has one cathedral, Notre Dame. The church is a notable example of late Gothic architecture, but it also features a lot of Renaissance details. The miraculous image of Maria Consolatrix Afflictorium, the nation's and city's patron saint, arrived in the church at the end of the 18th century. The cathedral was established as a Jesuit church in the 17th century. In 1870, it received cathedral status. The belfry and roof of the cathedral sustained extensive damage in 1985 when one of its spires caught fire. The spires you can see today are modern reconstructions, but the majority of the original structure is still there. While inside the cathedral, look up to see the statues of Our Lady, Saints Peter and Paul, and the cathedral's entrance. The cathedral's north gate serves as the most prominent illustration of Renaissance and Baroque design features. Admire the cathedral's stunning stained glass windows and historic artwork inside. If you're lucky, you might come across one of the frequent free organ recitals that take place here. The 2.4-foot, 0.7-meter high statue of Our Lady, Comforter of the Afflicted, is well known here. Many pilgrims visit the cathedral because of its multicolored statue. In the chancel, look for Louis Berlet's stained glass creations. Don't forget to have a look at the 2 bronze lions that stand watch over the crypt entrance to the cathedral. The crypt is home to the remains of a number of notable bishops and monarchs of Luxembourg, including Grand Duchess Marie Adèle, Grand Duchess Charlotte, and Count of Luxembourg John I of Bohemia. The treasury can be viewed upon request, so ask the sacristan if you can look inside. Visit the cathedral on the 5th Sunday following Easter, when the Octave of Our Lady of Luxembourg is held. On this day, thousands of pilgrims pray for the Holy Virgin's protection as the statue of Our Lady is carried through the city streets. Except for when there are services, Notre Dame Cathedral is open every day. It is situated in Villers-Haute, close to the Place de la Constitution and the Grand Ducal Palace. Free entrance is offered to the cathedral. Number 4. Go see Bach Casemates. One of the most formidable medieval fortresses in all of Europe is now nothing more than a vast network of underground tunnels. The impressive fortifications of Luxembourg were first constructed in 936 and were once referred to as the Gibraltar of the North. As each nation fought for military supremacy over Western Europe over the ensuing centuries, the city was held in turn by Burgundians, Spaniards, Austrians, French, and Prussians. The Bach casemates are the only substantial portion of this formidable stronghold that has survived, and they were finally destroyed in the late 19th century to avert further conflict. The casemates of the fortress were first constructed by the Spanish in 1644, using the medieval castle's cellars as a model. Being more than just the cannon perches, they were made up of 23 kilometers of tunnels that extended as far as 40 meters beneath the fortress above. In addition to 25 artillery emplacements These tunnels also contained stables, storerooms, workshops, kitchens, bakeries, slaughterhouses, and 1,200 soldier barracks. The installation received its fresh water from a well that was 155 feet deep. When the Habsburg forces in the fortress eventually surrendered, the walls of the Bach remained unbroken, having helped the fortress withstand a 7-month siege by the French Republican Army in 1794. Ultimately, the Bach proved to be too valuable, and in an effort to ease tensions between France and Germany, the 1867 Treaty of London ordered its destruction, along with Luxembourg's continued neutrality. It took 16 years to finish the demolition. 17 kilometers of the underground tunnels are still present, because destroying the casemates would have required also destroying a portion of the city. 35,000 people used the Bach casemates during World War II as a bomb shelter after they were made public in 1933. Visitors still have access to the expansive honeycomb military engineering marvel below by descending from the heights of the Bach. Number 3. Hike through Luxembourg's mini Switzerland, Mullerthal. The Mullerthal region is ideal for an energizing hike, with plenty of picturesque sights along the way, because it has a hilly landscape similar to that suggested by its nickname, Luxembourg's Little Switzerland. You will hike along sandstone crevices, shaded forests, sun-drenched valleys, swift rivers, and even peaceful waterfalls on the Mullerthal trails. Trekkers can explore the region's highlights by choosing from a variety of circular hiking trails that range in length from about 5 to 7 miles, 9 to 12 kilometers. Around the hiking trails are a number of picturesque towns, the most well-known of which is Echternach, a town of pastel hues with a charming town square filled with eateries and cafes. These 112 kilometers of the Mullerthal Trail are a treat for experienced hikers. The trail is made up of 3 interconnected loops, though they can be done separately. The Wolfschlut, or Wolf's Gorge, a very craggy rock where wolves used to hide, or the Pericope Rock, a large stone block that can be accessed by ladders, are 2 of the region's spectacular rock formations that can be seen from Route 2. The trail also has shorter and simpler paths that are feasible for hiking for all family members, including children. Other trails allow hikers to see various castles that emerge from the green, forested hills, such as the ruins of the Beaufort Castle from the 11th century, the La Corette Castle from the 12th century, and the relatively more recent Massenburg Castle from the 18th century, turning the hike into a journey from a fairy tale. Number 2. Explore Luxembourg's north, Vianden and its famous castle. The north of Luxembourg, which is frequently ignored by tourists, has many impressive sights to see, including old towns, forests, and castles. Vianden combines all 3 factors, making it the ideal location for tourists to fully immerse themselves in this fascinating area. Since ancient times, Vianden has attracted numerous tourists. Victor Hugo, a famous French poet, was enthralled by the medieval town's panoramic views and visited it several times, capturing its beauty in his writing. Queen Elizabeth II has also been to Vianden and its restored castle, which is perched atop a hill covered in trees and is still clearly visible from all parts of the town. Being one of the largest and most magnificent feudal homes from the Romanesque and Gothic periods, Vianden Castle is a real draw for tourists. The castle was constructed between the 11th and 14th centuries on the ruins of a Roman fortress and a Carolingian refuge. It belonged to the Grand Ducal family for a considerable amount of time before being acquired by the state in 1977. It has since been fully restored to its former splendor. Vianden Castle is currently regarded as one of Europe's top historical sites. An interesting highlight of this town is its chairlift, which takes visitors to a height of 1,443 feet, where a picturesque panorama over the valley and a unique view of the Vianden Castle unfolds. Another popular Vianden activity is visiting the numerous picturesque hiking trails that surround the town. There are also numerous museums and an adventure park. This town, in conclusion, houses numerous attractions to keep the tourists entertained, so make sure you don't miss out on giving it a visit. Number 1. The Old Town of Luxembourg. The Old City of Luxembourg is situated on a very steep, rocky outcrop that is sort of a natural fortification that only needed to be finished on the west side, at the confluence of the Alzette and Pétrus rivers. The city of Luxembourg was one of the largest fortresses in modern Europe because of its exceptional strategic location, and it was continually fortified as it changed hands successively between the great European powers. The city has kept its street layout and many public buildings, which are significant evidence of its history and growth since the 10th century. Quarters for habitation and trade or craft activity grew both inside and at the base of its ramparts. Additionally, they preserved houses of worship, like the Church of St. Michael, which is now a veritable museum of sacred art, or the Church of St. Nicholas, which was later moved into the Jesuit sanctuary, the current cathedral. The historic Nieuwmunster Abbey is a notable structure in the Grund neighborhood. Aristocratic families and the major religious communities constructed their shelters, or mansions, in the upper town, in the shadow of the walls, to be close to the administrations and official institutions. The former residents and their activities can still be seen in the old quarters. The city is still a significant historical ensemble today, despite the destruction of the fortress, the fortifications, and the old quarters. It is a prime example of a fortified European city and the location of a remarkable array of military artifacts that span a significant amount of Western history. Luxembourg is an incredibly simple country to travel around. You won't have to go far to find something interesting. Whether you're exploring the capital city on foot, taking a road trip through the picturesque countryside, or taking the train between towns. Is it the Mullerthal trails that fancied you, or the north of Luxembourg? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, where to next?